The upcoming battle of undisputed champions Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor is going to be a battle between two undisputed champions, and we get the chance to see once again women stepping up to the plate and delivering the type of battles that boxing supporters really love. Let's talk about this battle. Undisputed, a term in boxing that means accomplishment, and it typically is associated with being the top and the best in your weight class when you have consolidated all of the titles for championship consideration. Such is the case when we get a chance to see two undisputed champions face off against one another when on Saturday, May 20th, from Dublin, Ireland, Katie Taylor, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the women's division of boxing, decides to challenge super lightweight undisputed champion Chantel Cameron for her undisputed titles. Now, Katie, who is the lightweight champion, was originally scheduled this summer to face Amanda Serrano in a rematch in her hometown. But Serrano suffered an injury that made the fight fall apart, possibly to be revisited at a later date. So Katie was looking for another challenge, and the best challenge that she could find was undisputed super lightweight champion Chantel Cameron. And I have to give Katie tons of credit for that, because the Serrano rematch was going to be something that fight fans would tune into because they fought such a stellar fight a year ago in Madison Square Garden, making history. But this is another shot at history that people are not really looking at for all of the right reasons. When Katie is taking on Cameron, who is currently undisputed, as I said, but also a fighter with talent not unlike Katie's. Her record of 17-0 and 8 KOs see her as not only the best at the weight class, but she has taken on the challenges that you like to see champions face off. Her most recent victory, a November 2022 unanimous decision over Jessica McCaskill, showed that Cameron was for real. McCaskill was an undisputed champion in her own right, who has stepped up to try to challenge Cameron, and she outboxed her, took her apart, took her to school, winning predominantly every round against McCaskill. So Katie, who's entering this fight, having come off of the unanimous decision victory over Karen Elizabeth Carbajal in October of 2022, is entering with her record now of 22-0 and 6 KOs. And as I stated earlier, she was headed into a rematch against Serrano, a fight that everyone was anticipating. But now there's a different spotlight because of history in the making. Imagine Katie being the undisputed lightweight champion taking on the super lightweight champion, and if she's able to accomplish the victory in that fight, she's going to set something of a Clarissa Shields nature for herself and her legacy. You have to take your hat off to that, and also respect the fact that she's challenging herself. in a way that a lot of fighters in the men division of boxing do not currently do. On to the fact of these two champions have skills that are cut above in the sport of boxing for the women's division. Cameron is a very good boxer, a straight up and down, no frills, but she can box. She controls distances well, and she works and operates behind a good stiff jab. She's able to place her punches very well. She throws combinations, and she has good lateral movement, which actually offset McCaskill when they fought. It was something that was a puzzle and a riddle for McCaskill that she was never able to solve in the 10 rounds. Now, Katie is a fighter who has multiple layers to her game. She can box, but she prefers to mix it up a lot. And when she does mix it up, it's usually from mid-range to getting inside, and she will throw combinations. She has been known to use elbows, sometimes even incidental headbutts. But Katie brings what we call a rough and tumble type activity to her bouts. She's not soft at all when it comes to boxing. Katie is rugged, but she's also smart and heady. She has a lot of experience, and she's fought a lot of different types of styles. She's fought opponents of different sizes, height, and reach, and she may have that advantage coming in. The two of these fighters are quite similar, but I would have to say that Cameron is the one that really has the boxing technique here. And if she remains true to herself, she can outbox Katie Taylor and not allow Katie to draw her into a firestorm of a fight. But this is the thing. Will their ego get tested? Will someone decide that they're going to go for it because you're challenging me as a champion? I gotta show you who's best. That's the intangible that comes in here. But both women will give as good as they get. They both have great chins. I've seen Katie get hit with shots that rocked her and stunned her, especially when you talk about her fight against Serrano. It was one of those situations where she made it up in her mind she was not going to go anywhere. And I think that Katie solved an issue with Serrano through experience in the fight, which she recognized exactly where Serrano's power was coming from. And she cut that distance down, because fighters typically have a real good point where their power is very dangerous. And Katie was able to resolve that against Amanda Serrano, but that's due to her experience. See, some fighters can get in there and they get rocked and shocked, and then they don't know what to do and they'll stay away. But other fighters learn how, okay, if I take a couple of steps this way or that way, it will take something off of that shot, and then I can do what I need to do to prevail and to get my pound of flesh. Overall, I see this as a wonderful fight between two champions who are tested and who are ready to make the next step. Katie Taylor is an outstanding fighter. She is one for the history books. She will go down as a legendary fighter for her era. I have learned to enjoy what she brings to the ring, and I respect her accomplishments. In this fight, it is going to be a challenge for her to be able to overcome the boxing acumen of Chantel Cameron. And Chantel understands exactly what it's going to mean to defeat Katie Taylor. As I stated earlier, the two of these fighters are quite similar in their styles, but they execute them differently. And there is something to be said about defeating a fighter that everyone respects and thinks is the best. If you can get that fighter's name on your resume as an accomplished and a fighter that you've become victorious over, it catapults you to a different level of respectability. Overall, I can see this fight being very close in the end, and if it goes down fairly, there's a chance that Chantel Cameron can turn back the challenge of Katie Taylor. I favor her slightly based on her boxing acumen. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's discuss who's going to win this fight. Do you have Undisputed Katie Taylor? Do you have Undisputed Chantel Cameron? It's going to be a big event. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone remain safe.